5.9 magnitude earthquake has struck below the Earth's crust at 149 kilometers depth, and we just had a 5.1 magnitude strike in the same area at a 77 kilometer depth, which is in the crust. This is the past hour according to Seismo Berkeley and USGS. Now, according to the 5.9 magnitude that struck today, off the Philippines, the United States Geological Survey reports adding the epicenter of the quake was registered at a depth of 149 kilometers, 16 kilometers east of Basco. That has a population of 7,000 people. There are no damages or injuries reported, even though we have more earthquakes in that same area. Between Manila and Taipei in the ocean. It's in the Ring of Fire, as we know. This is where we're having our Kamchatka earthquakes, Japan earthquakes, the 5.9 Philippines. 21 people reported feeling that earthquake, according to the USGS. We know it's in the Ring of Fire. The Philippine Sea Plate bordering the larger Pacific and Eurasian plates. In the smaller Sunda Plate, the Philippine Sea Plate unusual in that its borders are nearly all zones of plate convergence. The Pacific Plate is subducted into the mantle south of Japan beneath the Izu, Bonin, and Mariana Island arcs, which extend more than 3,000 kilometers along the eastern margin of the Philippine Sea Plate. This subduction zone is characterized by rapid plate convergence and high-level seismicity extending in depths over 600 miles deep. In spite of the extensive zone of plate convergence, the plate interference has been associated with few greater than 8 magnitude earthquakes, megathrust earthquakes. This low seismic energy release is thought to result from weak coupling along the plate interface. These convergent plate margins are also associated with unusual zones of back arc extension along the resulting seismic activity that decouples the volcanic island arcs from the remainder of the Philippine Sea Plate. South of the Mariana Arc, the Pacific Plate is subducting beneath the Yap Islands along Yap Trench, and the long zone of Pacific Plate subduction at the eastern margin of the Philippine Sea Plate is responsible for generating the deep Izu, Bonin, Mariana, and Yap trenches, as well as parallel chains of islands and volcanoes, typical of circum-Pacific island arcs. Similarly, the northwestern margin of the Philippine Sea Plate is subducting beneath the Eurasian Plate along the convergent zone extending from southern Honshu Island of Japan to the northeastern coast of Taiwan, manifested by the Ryukyu Islands and the Nansi Shoku Rikuyu Trench, and the Kuyu subduction zone associated with a similar zone of back arc extension, the Okinawa Trough. At Taiwan, the plate boundary is characterized by a zone of arc-continent collision, whereby the northern end of the Luzon Island arc is colliding with the buoyant crust of the Eurasia continent through offshore China. Now, relative plate motion vectors near the Philippines is about 80 millimeters per year. That's very fast. Is oblique to the plate boundary along two plate margins of central Luzon, where it's partitioned into orthogonal plate convergence along the trenches and nearly pure transitional motion along the Philippine Fault. Seismic activity along the boundaries of the Philippine Sea Plate has produced 7 great magnitude earthquakes, 8 earthquake and 250 larger than 7 events. Among the most destructive events were the 1923 Kanto, the 1948 Fukui, and the 1995 Kobe, Japan earthquakes, the 1935 and 1999 Chichi, Taiwan earthquakes, and the 1976 magnitude 7.6 Moro Gulf and 1990 magnitude 7.6 Luzon, Philippine earthquake. There have also been a number of tsunami-generating events in the region, including the Moro Gulf earthquakes, whose tsunami resulted in a very big destruction catastrophe. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.